Hello everyone. In this presentation, the rules pertaining to punishments that can be inflicted for offences under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita as contained under sections 4 to 13 of the Samhita are explained. Though the presentations on criminal law discuss these general principles, with the coming into force of the new penal law, the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, there have been some changes in the content and the arrangement of the provisions under various sections, and hence these new brief presentations on Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. The presentations on criminal law can be referred for detailed explanations of the basic principles with examples. So far, an overview of the provisions of the Sanhita, territorial and extraterritorial operation of the provisions, and the provisions pertaining to joint and constructive liability have been explained. Punishment is infliction of pain or unpleasant consequence which is prescribed by law and is administered by the state in accordance with the procedure laid down by law. There has to be a purpose that justifies the punishment. The nature and quantum of punishment must be proportional to the nature and seriousness of the crime. Sections 4 to 13 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita provide for the punishments that can be imposed for the offences under the Sanhita: death, imprisonment for life, imprisonment rigorous or simple, forfeiture of property, fine, and community service, which has been newly introduced, are the punishments that can be imposed under the Sanhita according to section 4 of the Sanhita. According to section 5, read with section 474 of Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita 2023, the appropriate government can, without the consent of the person sentenced, commute death sentence into imprisonment for life into imprisonment for a term not less than 7 years, imprisonment for more than 7 years into imprisonment for a term not less than 3 years, imprisonment for less than 7 years into fine, and a sentence of rigorous imprisonment for a term into simple imprisonment for a term. The appropriate government would be the central government in cases where the sentence is death or is a sentence imposed for an offence against any law relating to a matter to which the executive power of the Union extends. It would be the government of the state within which the offender is sentenced in cases where the sentence is for an offence against any law relating to a matter to which the executive power of the state extends, whether it is death sentence or any other sentence. Offences punishable with death under the Sanhita include causing death of rape victim or causing the rape victim to be in permanent vegetative state, gang rape of a woman under 18 years of age, repeating offences of rape or rape of a woman under 16 years of age, repeating the offence of causing death or permanent vegetative state of a rape victim or gang rape, murder by life convict, abetment to suicide if suicide is committed in furtherance of abetment and the person abetted is suffering from incapacity, attempt to murder by life convict, organized crime resulting in death, and terrorist act resulting in death, which are new inclusions, waging war against Government of India, abetment of mutiny if mutiny is committed in consequence, giving or fabricating false evidence with an intent to procure conviction of capital offence if innocent person is thereby convicted and executed, and dacoity with murder. Some of the offences punishable with imprisonment for life under the Sanhita include dowry death, causing miscarriage without the woman's consent, culpable homicide not amounting to murder, conspiracy to wage war, preparation to wage war, counterfeiting Indian coin, dacoity, and forgery of a valuable security or a will. Most of the offences under the Sanhita are punishable with imprisonment, which could be either simple or rigorous for a term. Rigorous imprisonment involves hard labour, but simple imprisonment does not. Theft, forgery, mischief, and criminal trespass are some of the offences punishable with imprisonment, which may be either simple or rigorous. In the case of certain offences, punishment that has to be imposed should be only rigorous imprisonment for a term, examples being robbery, rape, etc. On the other hand, in the case of certain offences, Punishment that has to be imposed should be only simple imprisonment for a term. Defamation, wrongful restraint, etc. are examples of such offences. Forfeiture of property can be ordered by the court for 3 offences under the Sanhita. Property used or intended to be used to commit depredation on any territory, in alliance or at peace with Government of India, or acquired by such depredation, and property received knowing that the property has been taken by waging war on any Asiatic power at peace with Government of India, or by committing depredation on any territory at peace with Government of India, can be forfeited. And property purchased by a public servant who is legally bound not to buy such property as such public servant can be confiscated. Here the property would be seized, but the same can be restored to the person at a later point of time. Almost all the offences under the Sanhita are punishable with fine. There are offences which are exclusively punishable with fine, like making the atmosphere noxious to health. There are offences which are punishable either with imprisonment or fine or with both, like theft and mischief. And there are offences which are punishable both with imprisonment as well as with fine, like rape and robbery. Fines imposed may be limited or unlimited, but it should not be excessive. The Sanhita introduced community service as a punishment under Section 4, and this has been prescribed as an alternative punishment in the case of a public servant unlawfully engaging in trade when he is legally bound not to engage in such trade, and where there is an attempt to commit suicide to compel or restrain a public servant from discharging his official duties. Imprisonment can be imposed in default of payment of fine as well as in default of community service. For calculating fraction of imprisonment for life has to be reckoned as imprisonment for 20 years. When the offence is punishable with imprisonment of either description, the court passing the sentence has to specify the description of the term of imprisonment. That is, whether the sentence has to be wholly rigorous or wholly simple, or if it is both rigorous and simple, how much of it should be rigorous and how much simple. When the offence is punishable with both imprisonment and fine, or either with imprisonment or with fine alone, the imprisonment in default of payment of fine has to be specified by the court. When the offence is punishable with both imprisonment and fine, the imprisonment in default of payment of fine should not exceed 1/4 of the maximum term of imprisonment that can be imposed for the offence, and the imprisonment which the court imposes in default of payment of fine or in default of community service may be of any description to which the offender may be sentenced for the offence. When the offence is punishable with fine alone or with community service alone, imprisonment imposed in default of payment of fine or community service should be simple and should not exceed 2 months when fine imposed is up to Rs 5,000, 4 months when the fine imposed is up to Rs 10,000, and 1 year in any other case. When a person is sentenced to rigorous imprisonment for a term, the court may order him to be kept in solitary confinement for a portion of the imprisonment for which he is sentenced. Solitary confinement for a period not exceeding 1 month can be imposed if the term of imprisonment is up to 6 months. It can be imposed for a period not exceeding 2 months if the term of imprisonment is between 6 months and 1 year, and for a period not exceeding 3 months if the term of imprisonment exceeds 1 year. Solitary confinement cannot be imposed for more than 3 months in any case. When imprisonment awarded is for not more than 3 months, solitary confinement should not exceed 14 days at a time with an interval of 14 days between 2 spells. And when imprisonment awarded is for more than 3 months, solitary confinement should not exceed 7 days at a time in any 1 month with an interval of 7 days between 2 spells. The Sanhita also prescribes enhanced punishment under Section 13 when a person is convicted of any offence punishable under Chapter 10 dealing with offences relating to coins and under Chapter 17 dealing with offences affecting property, with imprisonment for not less than 3 years if he was previously convicted of an offence punishable with imprisonment for not less than 3 years under Chapter 10 or Chapter 17. The offence need not be the same, but has to be an offense falling under Chapter 10 or Chapter 17 and must be punishable with imprisonment for not less than 3 years. The enhanced punishment that can be imposed can be imprisonment for life or rigorous or simple imprisonment for a term which may extend up to 10 years. This, in brief, is about some of the important rules pertaining to punishments that can be imposed for offences under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Thank you.